Chat Cave with Mike and Max.
Welcome back to the Chat Cave here on McGTV, youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Follow me on Twitter at MikeMcGTV. And as always, your hosts here in the Chat Cave are me, Mike McG, and...
me, Max. I need a cool nickname. You have Mike McG. I got just Max. Like, I don't know, like, am I the sidekick? Should I be Robin?
I don't know. That is an interesting premise. Well, because I'm not really going for anything bat-themed in my nickname. That's just my go-to name, But
yeah, I'm not a super cool YouTube presence like you, so I don't have a cool nickname yet. I mean, we'll work on it. Super cool YouTube presence. You guys are like double my viewers or double my subscriptions. I'd have to look at the numbers on that one. I don't know. I think you're trying to flatter me now. But that's cool. We're back. It's good to be back.
Again, that aforementioned channel that's doubling my numbers, a little 3 Geeks Network or 3 Geeks Podcast. Check them out as well. We'll have links below. Maybe some links. You guys just did a Young Justice Animaniacs episode, right?
Yes, we did. That was last week, and we covered season 2 of Young Justice. A lot of fun. Me, Scott, and Dan get together, watch some cartoons every week, pretty much.
Well, that's kind of along the lines of what we're going to be talking about here, because we're going to be talking about some animation, definitely, and a movie that just recently dropped here in the new year. I don't know. I was really kind of looking forward to seeing what this movie could offer. How about you?
This actually surprised the crap out of me when you were like, hey, let's do Justice League Dark. I had completely forgot they were making this movie. So I was very pleasantly surprised. You know, it wasn't like anything I was waiting on. It was just like, hey, now we get to watch this and then talk about it. I'm like, awesome. This is just the best thing ever. So
Max mentioned it. It's the new DC animated direct-to-video feature, Justice League Dark. Now, this one has some notoriety about it as well because it's now the second DC animated movie to get an R rating. The first one being The Killing Joke. And it's the first of the New 52 inspired line of DC movies to get an R rating. And the first one to delve into this more supernatural aspect, I guess. I mean,
it's good because once you throw John Constantine in there, I feel like you need the freedom that an R rating will give you. And I thought he was pretty toned down for this movie, actually.
Yeah, they did kind of give you just kind of the bare essentials with characters, I feel. But we'll get into that. But kind of a quick synopsis of the feature is that strange occurrences are happening all over the world with regards to people violently attacking each other for no reasons at all, or for reasons, I guess, from their perspective. They see everyone as like demons and monsters, and so they're like running people over with their cars and trying to drop their kids off rooftops and stuff like that. So, just a shade off from our world right now. So the Justice League is perplexed, and Batman thinks there's something more at play here, even though he's kind of the Scully of the movie, very much the skeptic. And so he goes about assembling a crew of people who deal with supernatural and paranormal stuff, like Dr. Peter Venkman. No, of course not. Zatanna, John Constantine. Deadman shows up for a little. Well, he shows up for the majority of this stuff. Swamp Thing shows up here and there. And Etrigan the Demon / Jason Blood. And so they all work together to unravel the mystery and figure out what kind of new supernatural threat is upon the world.
That's as non-spoiler specific as you can get.
There's not much to spoil in this feature. It's like they do magic stuff and save the world.
Shyamalan twists in it.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I don't know. We'll get into that, but yeah. What's some stuff that worked for you for this feature, Max?
This is actually one of the first New 52 style animation where I was really behind it. I thought they smoothed out a lot from their previous movies. I feel like they spent more money on this movie or something. Everything looked really smooth as far as like the animation is concerned. Who did Batman's voice in this one?
It's the same guy who's been doing it for all these features, Jason O'Mara.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him. Normally, I can't stand this dude as Batman. This one, I was into it. I don't know what secret sauce they mixed up, but Yeah, I was, again, for not really knowing it was coming out, and then just watching the film, I thought that everything was really, really done really well. This is probably like their best New 52 era animated movie. I'm gonna say that hands down. I
did like a lot of the action worked really well. Like you said, the animation seemed like a little bit more in quality. I'm Jason O'Mara as Batman has slowly kind of grown on me a little bit. I mean, he's definitely not my go-to Batman voice. Always going to be Kevin Conroy, but
well, he still draws breath.
Yeah, while he's still kicking. Don't take him 2017. You're already off to a bad start with me. I mean, he's doing all right, and I agree. I feel like part of what works for me for Batman, at least in this movie, is that he's kind of us in this whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one who's out of his element to a degree, but he's just kind of going along for the ride and being like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Like, you can just tell his, obvious level of discomfort when they start mentioning magic. He's like, oh, great.
He's got a trademark skeptical every time. Did you notice that throughout the movie? Every time something weird happens, his go-to response is just to go,
Yes. It's like, Batman has to have a certain level of control over a situation, and once you introduce magic, obviously that's right out the window. So, yeah, just watching him cope with basically his worst nightmare is pretty awesome. They pull it off really well.
Honestly, made for some good kind of moments as well. Like, there's a scene where the crew is trying to get to a location and get to a certain individual, and there are, what are they called again? Shrouds, the Grim Reaper characters? Shades or shrouds or something, something like that. But they're essentially the equivalent of those critters from Ghost that come and collect your soul when you've died.
Yeah, but didn't it seem like those are just the asshole crony ones?
Yeah,
they're stuck outside waiting and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They're like vampires. You have to invite them in or something.
Because they're always just kind of hanging out. What do you guys, don't you have something better to do? Isn't there another soul somewhere?
Well, and that ties into a lot of the stuff there is that Constantine starts talking to one of them, and Batman's there on the side being like, who's he talking to? Because he can't see them. And then John's like, well, they seem to take a liking to you or something like that, because they all start to swarm Batman because they're like, this guy here, he's been evading us for years. And then Batman actually spooks one of them, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, you picked up on everyone else's reaction to what was going on, so he's like, okay, they're right in front of me, aren't they?
And so I kind of enjoyed his contributions to the plot, even though he does take a back seat as soon as the plot really gets rolling to the Justice League Dark characters, clearly, because, this is their showcase movie, so he is a good conduit to kind of bring us into this world.
Yeah, it's much like the Batman Assault on Arkham movie. That's a Suicide Squad movie. They just kind of bring Batman along just to kind of keep everything going, and Batman's just, he's I don't know, he's the perfect sauce, you know what I'm saying? He just goes well with everything, and he's like sriracha, you put it on frickin' everything, and it tastes good on everything.
Nice.
But because it's this reminded me a lot of in the comic books, the Batman and the Outsiders, or Batman and the Brave and the Bold, where it's just Batman with different people. And so you don't really need as much Batman. It kind of showcases everyone else, but you got Batman there to bring along.
He's just your headliner, but the rest of the band is really awesome.
Yes, they are. I love this. This movie is very, very well done.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of got their own time, and it was a good mix, and it was characters you like to see, and they were done very true to the characters, I feel.
For me, it played a lot like a Buffy or Angel story arc for me, because I like watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel and reruns on Netflix. Obviously, those are supernatural shows, but the way they banter, the way they kind of explain things to each other, and the way they explain things to Batman, it really kind of felt like that, and I was appreciative of that a little bit, whereas previous just regular old Justice League movies from this brand never really had that pizzazz to it, I felt, and this one kind of got it a little better.
Oh yeah, they still like refuse to make Wonder Woman a character at all. But other than that, yeah, this one they just a good blend of everything, and they finally kind of hit their stride. Like you're hoping stuff would be this good the whole time, but yeah, it was really solid. I've not been a fan of these new 52 animated features, just not really at all. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one was so solid.
Well, there are certain installments that really feel bogged down, and that's honestly what I was kind of worried about when I first heard about Justice League Dark being the focus, was that, okay, is it going to split its time between the supernatural characters and the regular League? And I was actually appreciative. I know you're saying Wonder Woman wasn't really developed. I'm like, honestly, this went along just fine with her being in it for only like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And Superman's only in it for 2 minutes. Like, the only one who you really need there is Batman. And it makes sense that it would be Batman as opposed to any of the other Leaguers.
I mean, yeah, true, because he's got the in. He knows Zatanna, and also you need someone you can't have Superman running around just punching everything.
Yeah,
that wouldn't make for a good story. So yeah, Batman is definitely the right way to go.
And also, he's the only human one on the team, too, so, I don't know, that's kind of the give and take you have with a character like Batman, where he's perfectly cool with working alongside immortals and aliens, but when you throw the concept of magic out there, he's like, harumph, we'll see. So, makes sense. Wonder Woman, obviously, she has some origin in magic, so she would be way too accepting of everything that's going on, and Superman's just way too kind of trustworthy about everything. So I like the fact that they chose the resident team skeptic for this team as well.
I think Cyborg might have worked in this situation.
I get what you're saying, though. He's rooted in the technological, and
it would have been a good dichotomy.
Yeah, stuff he can't quantify necessarily. That would have been kind of cool. Aside from Batman, because even though we are a Batman podcast, we don't want to spend the whole episode sucking the dude's dick. But
we could.
Yeah, we could, but we do that every other episode anyways. Who is kind of your standout character, aside from, obviously, Batman? Who else kind of shined pretty bright for you in this movie?
I feel like this was a Constantine movie, and I really like Deadman. I thought Deadman was the, because you want to like Constantine, even though he is just a rat bastard. Like, you want to like him at the end of this thing. Mm-hmm. And so, that's kind of like the Wolverine effect on me. Like, I don't like him because I'm supposed to like him, So, but I think Deadman is my guy on this one. He's kind of like the comedy relief a little bit, but he's, just handy in a couple of situations. It's cool seeing him like phase in and out of people and like what he does with that, and I really liked him.
Yeah, I'd have to say Deadman was kind of a very enjoyable part of the film for me too, because what you mentioned earlier, everyone's utilized really well in their roles. What he contributes, even though he's just a ghost, is pretty good as well. The fact that he's doing heroic stuff by just possessing people.
So, I mean, like, the thing is, though, it's like he's possessing them and putting them in, like, mortal danger. So is it really heroic what he's doing?
Well, I mean, he tries. Obviously, it's kind of hard when, what's-its-name from Dogma shows up, the Golgothan shows up in the hospital.
But yeah, dude, that was an awesome scene. But also, yeah, he never really grabs anybody who isn't already in mortal danger. So
yeah.
That.
At that point, it's a little too late. In fact, what'd he say? Like, he's in the fat guy's body, and he's like, would it kill you to eat a piece of fruit, man, or something?
I really like that. I thought that was a cool aspect to it. I never read a lot of Deadman, or he's not in a lot of stuff. I think he's like Justice Society sometimes, but yeah, no, it's cool. I like that character.
I was curious with regards to Constantine. Were you familiar with the NBC show?
Yeah, no, I watched it. I enjoyed it.
So how do you think Matt Ryan did as animated Constantine?
Oh, even better. I mean, he was good in this one. And, like I said, if he wasn't like the main, because Constantine, he can, I think he'd be good as a side character too, if the focus wasn't on him.
Yeah.
Just because he gets to be that quipping, like just asshole guy who just kind of does what you need to do, right? He's the X factor in any situation. But no, he was good. I really liked the voice acting, and I liked what they did to the character.
Was there any character that you feel didn't work for you at all?
I didn't really like Swamp Thing. I feel like he should have just in the last battle, instead of going the way they did, he should have just like delivered them to where they needed to go and then dipped out. Like they could have just had a little flavor of Swamp Thing versus trying to like actually put him in the movie. Right.
Yeah, incorporate him into the fight necessarily.
Yeah, because I feel like since he was only there to get, well, I mean, like, are spoilers? You're going to say that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. See, like they put him in the fight just to get beat. So what's the point? And then is he dead? Is he gone forever? Like what happened? You don't know. Like that was kind of weird for me.
I'll agree with you there. Swamp Thing, while I like the character a lot, I enjoyed what they did with him maybe visually in this movie. I don't know. It seemed kind of, Swamp Thing felt kind of weird for me in this because I never would have envisioned Swamp Thing really getting into down and dirty fighting necessarily, because I'm more familiar with the Alan Moore stuff where, sure, every once in a while there was a tussle or there was some kind of struggle, but it was more about like supernatural ideas, and kind of, he was a bit more of a thinker than he was an action hero.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like when they go to Swamp Thing and they're like, hey, we need to find Felix Faust, they, that's cool. I'm down for that. And then he drops him off, and that would have been really cool. Just leave it at that. And then you get Swamp Thing in the movie, and it makes sense. And I just feel like that's where they overreached just a little bit, trying to make him more part of the movie was, just a little too much.
Yeah, especially since his contribution in the fight part of it doesn't amount to anything. It's like,
right. So there's just no point. So yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, just have him do what he did, and then he's like, okay, I hate you, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I would want to pose to you. What doesn't work, not just in regards to character, but say story-wise for you in this movie?
I would say the very end. Like, I don't like that, like, I don't know, the house just, like, rebuilds itself. And it's like everyone's drinking a beer and having a good time at the end of it. I was like, I don't know, it was kind of cool. It just means, like, I don't like it when they zero stakes everything,
Right.
And I mean, I guess the Swamp Thing is still dead, kind of, or whatever. But yeah, I feel like the house, if they're gonna, it shouldn't have been all the way built if they're gonna do that. Even, there should have been some like, holy crap, like what did we lose out of there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that could lead into the next Justice League Dark movie. But like at the end of it, everything's hunky dory, and we've got this team now, and I didn't like that.
For a movie that was kind of touting itself as literally being a dark movie, it wraps everything up pretty pleasantly.
Yeah.
Overall, I really enjoyed the sit and watching it. There was just a couple of things that, I don't know, stuck in my craw a little bit with regards to, well, first of all, did you call that twist with that character?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but again, like, it's just part of the story, so that's fine. So yeah, like, when, oh no, it's not. Couldn't have been poor Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, momentarily, I was like, I know exactly what's going to happen now. And then I'm like, okay, fine, go along. Otherwise, there's no movie. I get it. Sure.
It's your plot device, but I don't think it was done poorly.
No, it didn't. I mean, that was just kind of one thing I noticed with regards to it. But then I'm kind of like, well, you know what? That's fine. It works for this film. My main thing with the film has to deal with the fact that, like, I don't know what the end game is for DC to be like, okay, let's get into some R-rated stuff now. This doesn't feel like it should have an R rating on it.
It's an edgy PG-13.
Yeah, at most.
It gets to the edge of where it might need to be R, but it doesn't go over there. Like, I'd agree. Like, this definitely could have been PG-13. They throw like a couple of cuss words in there to make it like for real.
Well, and it's stuff, and they've done that before in the other movies. They've called people like bitches and assholes in the regular PG-13 stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess the R rating comes with Deadman calling the thing a shit demon or whatever.
Yeah, but then like also I think the R rating comes when like mothers toss their babies over the sides of buildings and then dump their deaths.
I don't know, because going back to, like, say something like Batman versus Robin with what the doll maker was doing.
Yeah, that was pretty effed up too. That was
yeah, and that's like
surprised when they did that.
Like in that, the little kids actually do get messed up, and that's your PG-13 movie. Here, at least Batman saved the kid, but it's just like.
Well, I mean, again, too, I don't know, because it's something else. Like when a mother does it, like there's more emotion here. I want to say,
I suppose.
More, but again, you're not wrong either, because what's worse, one mother throwing one child over the side of a building, or some crazy dude kidnapping 20 kids, torturing and maiming them, and then brainwashing.
I don't know. It was just a curiosity that always kind of stuck out to me when I was watching the movie, because I'd go back and be like, yep, this is an R, but I don't know what makes it any different from any of the other movies in this line so far, because even though, like I said, it's dealing with darker creatures or darker themes, perhaps, it plays just like some of the other movies, just plays much better, but it's not creeping me out. It's not really unsettling, aside from what you said, some of the ideas early on, the opening scene with what all the regular people are doing to each other because they're hallucinating or because they're maddened by the magic. That actually was disturbing. That scene where Superman goes to the shed and sees what the dude has done, that creeped me out. But then as soon as we get to the poker game with the demons, nothing else really kind of phased me.
Because I don't know, with Constantine, you're always winking at what's going on. It gives you a great when Superman is seeing this, you feel the weight of it. But then if you're looking at it through Constantine's eyes and his situation, it's he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of does what he does. So I don't know, it kind of paints it in a whole new light, just depending on who you're watching the movie from.
Again, that was just kind of my thing. I'm like, it just was this idea that always came back to me in the watching of it, was just, why is this an R? That's about it.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely just an edgy PG-13. It did not need to be R. Yeah. But I think the novelty of giving something an R rating now is what it is. Since Deadpool, they're just yeah, we're gonna give it an R rating. We're so cool. I
don't know. I'm hoping that's a fad that dies out pretty quick, because it made me. Because what it did was, after the fact, it took me out of the experience of watching the film, and it made me go over all the other movies that have done this too, like Killing Joke. Killing Joke, I kind of got a little bit, because that story on its own is just very unsettling. But Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, that's R-rated. There's no reason that Ultimate Edition should be R-rated.
That the Ultimate Edition is R-rated?
Oh yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Nothing aside from the fact that it's pretty clear Batman's killed people. There's nothing.
Oh yeah, the blood smear. Yes, that's what it is. It's that one blood smear when he hits that dude with the crate.
Yeah, and wheelchair guy says fuck, but that's about it.
Yeah, we can't say fuck.
You can say fuck, I think, once or twice in a PG-13, and you get away with it.
I think it's twice.
Twice, yeah. But that was the only time, and so it had me thinking back. I'm like, why do they make these some of these films R? There's no point to it aside from just saying yeah, we can be edgy just like Deadpool, like you said. But semantics. I'm not in marketing.
I think R ratings is just the fashion right now. That's all.
Yeah, the unnecessary R rating. Yeah. I will say one thing I wasn't vibing to at all in this movie was that god-awful dubstep soundtrack.
Oh, dude, come on, that was pretty good.
Ah, man.
Who doesn't love robots raping each other? It was good stuff, because the entire time you're like, wow, Optimus Prime is really just taking it,
Oh, man. Yeah. That opening title sequence, when I'm like, okay, there's a kind of cool, what would you call it? Medieval type of theme going on. They're doing kind of what they do on Sherlock with the theme and make it somewhat classy, or, Tales from the Cryptish. But then all of a sudden, and I'm just like, oh, shit, come on.
Oh, it got real. It got real quick. No, yeah, you got to wait for that drop. You know, that's a sign of when things are going down.
Oh man.
I'm not a huge fan of dubstep. I guess it was kind of cool in the dichotomy sense of things, I guess, where you're making the most techno sound you can over this really dark, mystic, movie. Mm-hmm. So that going, if you want to try to argue some sort of art sense from this. But no, I could have done without it. I thought, there's 10 other better things you could have done, but I might just be old.
Yeah, I think we're just geezers at this point. Sure. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Is like maybe stylistically it was a decision that they felt would be effective with this type of story, but it didn't feel like that. It just felt like, wow, a lot of soundtracks do this now. We should do, along with like the unnecessary R rating. It's like, hey, this is what a lot of other movies do. Let's do that too.
Yeah, it's it leaves a lot to be desired for me. But again, I don't know if that's just my old crotchetiness flaring up again. Yeah. I sprayed a kid off my lawn with the hose the other day, so it's we're getting into those years.
Yeah, that we are, and here we are on the internet talking about it. But I mean, I would recommend this film. I actually, probably recommend it way above any of the other previous movies. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely. Like this is the one. I'm like, why? If they would have made this movie first, I don't know. Would you have wanted to make this movie first and then have to go through all the crap that we watched already, or would you rather how it is now, where at least we got one good one? It feels like at the end of it.
It felt like it had a bit of more fun with it. I mean, like you said, with a character like Constantine, who's all like, "Oh, this is a day in my life." When you have a cynical character like that as your lead, but like cynical but charming at the same time, it works with that balance, especially when you got him paired up with a skeptic like Batman or a more altruistic version of himself in Zatanna, who I enjoyed Zatanna in this too, honestly.
Oh, I thought she was great. Yeah, they did her so well, and there was no, with the exception of Swamp Thing, I think everybody was used to their, very well in this movie, and they feel like they contribute to the team. There's a reason they're there, and it's all done very well. I thought Zatanna was awesome, because that's another character that I don't know that well, and I thought this was very good, and, leading you into this character.
I just realized, I just remember what I was going to say, actually, was that here's what you could have done is if you'd taken this same team, this same plot, but put it up again, say, okay, it's not Destiny, it's Enchantress now. It's like, this is a way better Suicide Squad movie than the Suicide Squad movie.
Absolutely. Isn't there a helicopter crash in this movie too? I mean, give me a break.
It hits a lot of similar marks at times, but does it better. Like, for example, in the Suicide Squad movie, you have characters getting their backstories established at like a breakneck pace. Mm-hmm. They don't have time to dilly-dally. They just throw in like Killer Croc. He was a wrestler. Then he became this, and then mutated. Now he's in the sewers. Now we keep him in a sewer. Go next. Here at least you get time. Like, you get time to see the origin of Etrigan. You get time with Zatanna and Batman and Deadman for her to explain what Deadman is.
Yeah. Oh man, and Deadman freaking when he takes over Batman. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, wow, this guy is
he's really strong.
Fighting me really hard.
He's wicked strong.
That was awesome. I was like, that's good. That was a nice little touch.
It's the same thing as what happened in the Titans thing, remember? I'm surprised Batman didn't knock himself out quickly.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm infected. What?
Yeah. He should know what this is like. He's had someone try to take him over before, so he should be knock myself out with fear gas. Here we go.
Let me use this neurotoxin on myself quick. Oh, my. Like, Suicide Squad was just bad, this. I think we need to let it go on the fail on that one. Like, you wanted to have fun. Like, at least it's fun to watch when you're not noticing all the glaring just problems with it.
Yeah, it's colorful.
At least it was, the first. I remember having fun watching it the first time I watched it. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, that's something when. I don't know, and this could be a totally different discussion for another podcast perhaps, but I don't know, it's something that I've been thinking about, especially with all these releases of DTVs, is that they spend so much time and money and years on one live action feature. But then in the interim, they release like at least 4 of these movies. And when the animated features have more hits than misses than your live action branch.
Yeah, and also when your movies are getting reviewed at, well, and like, why don't they tap some of these guys to make their live action movies? They're like, hey, there's some things that you just can't do because since it's animated, you can go crazy. Obviously you got to rein some things in, but if you take the Assault on Arkham movie versus Suicide Squad, like, nothing happens in this. Actually, I'd say less weird things happen in Batman Assault on Arkham than they do in the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, Assault on Arkham is the more realistic movie. Right.
So why aren't you coming to these movies? Like, obviously they know what they're doing, but that's just me. I'm not a multi-millionaire, so maybe you lose your mind with the more money that you get. You just can't make good decisions. The better financial decisions you make, the less creative decisions you can make, or something. I don't know.
Probably. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in the heads of bigwigs? But
yeah, I just don't understand how 10 guys in a room can't see where they have gold and where they have crap.
Well, hopefully someday the balance will be struck that we'll have good live action and good animation, not just for DC but also for Marvel, because they have kind of the opposite thing going for them now. It's like Marvel's live action is kicking it, but their animated stuff, aside from a couple of things, isn't all that great.
Oh man, yeah, we just watched this stupid Hulk movie that was on Netflix.
Which Hulk movie?
It's bad. It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo featuring the Hulk. It's just terrible.
What's it called?
I blocked it from my memory.
Okay.
It's like the most recent thing dumped off by Marvel onto Netflix animated. It's Doctor Strange is in it. It's really bad.
Well, of course he is, because he just had a movie, so you got to tie it in somehow.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing, is that when your DTV doesn't feel like it was rushed for the sake of cashing in, that's when I feel it works.
Right. Yeah, that's and DC animated, again, they're like 7 for 10. You're more likely to get a good movie than you are to get a crap one.
So I guess that's a glowing a review for Justice League Dark as you'll get from Max and I. Check it out, definitely.
I didn't think they were going to make a good New 52 style Justice League movie, and they did it with this one. I mean, of course, this has got less of the actual Justice League in it, but
that's what it took.
They made a good one, so we're not going to take it away from them.
That is, I guess, all really we have with regards to DC and Batman topics for this episode, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty more we're going to be talking about in the weeks and months to come. Stay tuned here on McG TV for those discussions on To the Chat Cave. We've been your hosts, Mike McG and Max Andrews. Where can we find more stuff from you, Max?
You can go to www.3geeks.ninja, or you can check us out on iTunes at 3 Geeks Podcast.
And someone had just recently written like a tribute to, was it Carrie Fisher or Mary Tyler? Someone had written a tribute on .ninja?
To Carrie Fisher, I believe.
Okay, cool. So check out some of their written articles. Definitely check out their YouTube channel, which we'll have the link below, and I'll link the Animaniacs Young Justice episode here. So that's all we have here on To the Chat Cave. Thank you so much, Max.
Join us next time. Same chat time, same chat channel.